Alright everyone, as you've just seen, if you somehow didn't know already, Forza Horizon 6 has been confirmed at Xbox Direct, and pretty fitting that I just put out that last video saying how there was nothing coming out that I was too excited about, and they would release their gameplay trailers and stuff like that that I somehow completely missed. But I'm very excited about this game, so in an attempt to kind of keep my content rolling a little bit, I'm going to take a different approach with this one. Rather than reviewing the game itself when it comes out, which I probably still will do a little bit, we're going to look at some of the new features that they're adding into Horizon 6 and kind of go over some of the stuff that they claim to be bringing to the game. Claim using very loosely, I'm sure everything that they say is going to be in the game. And then I'll give kind of a little bit of a in my own insight into how I feel about some of the things, and some spots where I think it'll be really good, other spots where, meh, don't really care so much. With that being said, let's get into it. Alright, the first thing I want to bring up from their Xbox Direct was the two different game modes, or race types, however you want to put it, that they brought up in Xbox Direct. The first one being their new Horizon Rush mode, which they described as kind of like a fast-paced obstacle course type track, which I'm pretty excited for. Not sure what kind of obstacles are going to necessarily be in it. They didn't disclose very much information about that specifically. But in the clips from the Xbox Direct, you'd see a Lamborghini taking extremely tight turns and doing small, somewhat mediocre jumps. So nothing like danger sign-esque that I could really expect to be in these kind of events. But it'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm always down for new, innovative ways to play the game, that's for sure, especially because as much as I love the Forza Horizon series, they do start to get a little bit old after a while. And then the only other real event or race that I had actually noticed in the direct footage was they're calling them toge battles, which is a nighttime sprint down some of the mountainsides of Japan. Japan being because they're basing the game in Japan, if you didn't know. So that'll be a little bit interesting. Drifting is not exactly my strong suit, especially because I'm stubborn and don't play on controller, and I'm too lazy to learn how to use a wheel. So doing those tight corners down some of those iconic pathways, especially at night, might be a bit of a challenge, but we'll see where the game takes us when it comes out. I'm very excited for both of these things. I think they're going to go over rather well. And with that being said, we'll lead on to the second one. Which that brings us to the map. That was the second thing that they wanted to bring up during their Xbox Direct showcase, was how impressed they were with the ability that they had to kind of bring Japan to life in this video game. They're very impressed, especially with the verticality they were able to build out of it. There is a clip from the Xbox Direct of some of the cars going down the Japanese loop bridge. The name escapes me, and I'm sure I wouldn't even know how to pronounce it in the first place. Then they talk about kind of like the scenic views and how Japan is very diverse as far as the way that their country is kind of set up. It goes from rural to urban, and then the most modern urban landscapes you could ever see, and then you will end up in a spot where you can get nothing but traditional Japanese, almost like temple-looking structures. And it does look amazing as far as what the Direct has showed us. The setting looks fantastic. Where they have some of the showcase shots coming from look fantastic. They spoke a little bit about how Japan has very diverse biomes, which does make a lot of sense given where Japan is kind of set at on the globe. They seem to get a lot of different, rather intense season changes, which that definitely fits in perfect with the whole Forza directive. They are very big on their seasonal changes every week, the challenges, the different cars, stuff that they'll give you as a reward for completing things during that season time frame for those 7 days. And it'll be interesting to see how some of it ends up working out with the actual video game side of it. I'm sure it won't be exactly like how Japan really is in the real world, but it'll be interesting to kind of put yourself in that setting. They ended up also bringing up with the map about how this game has their biggest city subsetting yet for any Forza game, which again, not a surprise, in the fact that Tokyo City is massive in this one. They've basically mapped out all, if not at least most, of Tokyo City, made it drivable, had everything put where it's supposed to be. Roads are tight corners, everything is just something that you can drive through, be able to test your skills, go down the alleyways and the roadways of Tokyo City, which just sounds like it'll be an amazing time. Such a fantastic thing to even think about. Like, wow, this is at least a little bit of what Tokyo would really be like. Once all the map talk was said and done, they moved on to probably the biggest part of the game, the cars, duh. So there will be over 550 different cars at launch, which I don't know how many Horizon 5 had at the beginning, but I can tell you that it definitely wasn't over 500 at least. Each car is also including new body kits, new Forza arrows like spoilers, bumpers, stuff like that. The ability to actually paint liveries on windows, which I'm sure a lot of people who like to do rally car designs for the actual paint job side of the game are going to love that a lot. They'll be able to put little sponsors on windows, like even in NASCAR, it doesn't have to be rally cars, but the little sponsors in the bottom corners of the windows, stuff like that. They are also bringing in a whole new class of car, which I'm excited to see, the R class. I don't think it's higher than X, but I don't remember if they said. I don't think they actually did. I think they just said it was a new class of car. It's the R class. So if this is a level above X, I don't even know how that's going to work. It's going to be such an insane power dynamic if you can really go above the car rating being 999 at max like it was in every game prior. But I'll be very excited to see what happens with that. And on top of all that stuff with the other cars, now they're having basically open world barn finds, we can call them. Not necessarily barn finds in the fact that they were usually older cars in the other games that you would find, then wait a certain amount of time and you would get a new car to use. These ones are aftermarket cars where their whole point in the game is you are just driving around the world, exploring, doing whatever, and you can spot a car. Like, I think they use a Mazda, I don't know the model, that has been twin turboed and it's got a displacement supercharger on it, and the thing looks crazy. And you can just buy the car off the side of the road, and it's like unique, rare parts / cars that you wouldn't normally be able to get in the game from the normal garage or from the normal tuning setups that you can get, which that part is really amazing. I can't wait to see what kind of cars they might actually have available on the side of the road that you can just buy for whatever money that it costs. I don't even care at that point. I'd pay whatever it was just to get something that you can't normally get that easily. There were two more car-related changes to the game that I, one, can actually remember at the moment, and two, felt like I could really get behind with this game. And the first of that being that they're adding an auto drive function to the game, which I think is fantastic, especially for people who are kind of like me, really small YouTube people, but want to get like those cool cinematic shots of stuff where we might not really know how to go about getting them any other way than in the game. it would actually make it very, very easy to just set your car to auto drive and kind of spin your camera around, you know, get a good look at the land. You can look out over a cliff while your car is driving towards the side of your screen. You don't have to worry about running off the road or hitting anything. So I'm very excited about that. And they're also adding car meets to the game, which, I mean, car meets have been a thing in some games in the past. I'm sure guys have done it in Forza just by meeting up in a designated spot and showing off their cars. But I always used to think it was kind of stupid, if I'm being honest. I mean, everybody has access to these cars. Why do you need to go and look at somebody else's car when you can just get it? Like in Grand Theft Auto, for some reason, GTA Online, people did car meets all the time, and I never really got it. But the ones that they have in this game serve a very big purpose that I'm really, really proud of. I'm very happy. We'll put it that way. And on top of being able to show off your cars, you can download people's tunes and liveries that are there at that car meet. And if you really like a car, the way it's set up, or just what it is, how it's tuned, the paint job, whatever, you can actually purchase a copy of that car straight there from the car meet. That is amazing. I would never have thought that I would say that I'm okay with car meets being a thing in a game where you have access to basically all the cars, except for ones that you might miss out on during seasonal events. That's another thing I didn't even think about until just now. You might be able to actually get cars that you missed out on at these car meets because somebody else brought them and you can just buy it and download it. So I'm very happy with both those things. I think those are things in the game that will definitely make a difference. Maybe not so much the auto drive, that's kind of like a little niche thing for some people, I guess, but the car meet is going to really change how people are able to build their garage and continue their collection. And with that, there's not really a whole lot left to say about anything else that they're really doing with the game. I mean, they kind of did some stuff with the building, I guess is kind of worth mentioning. They are making it so if you are designing your own course, you can build anywhere that you want the course to be, apparently. I'm not 100% sure what that really means because I'm not a race designer in this game. I don't really see any enjoyment in building a race for other people to play, I guess. To each their own, at the end of the day, just not really my thing. But what is interesting is that the building part of the game is now completely multiplayer. So if you did have a group of friends that kind of wanted to get together and design a racetrack or whatever, sprint, whatever you might want it to be, they can do that all at once, kind of like throw everyone's ideas into the pot. So that's a little bit interesting. What is more interesting to me is the fact that there are 2 new customizable areas, we'll say. There is garages that are part of every house that you can fully customize, which is pretty interesting. That you can also invite your friends into so that they can see how you've built your garage and what cars you might have decided to keep in the actual open garage floor. Kind of not really something that matters for me as I play this game solo most of the time anyway. And they have a new area called the Estate, which also has a house on it. It is completely barren, but once you unlock it, you're able to build whatever you could imagine, as far as I know, on this just empty canvas, essentially. Do you want to build a more rural backwoods town? You can do that. If you want to build kind of like a city setting, you can do that. If you want to split it down the middle and make it a little suburban, you could do that too. That's really interesting. Another thing that I don't really think I'll be taking too much time to do, mostly because, again, you're able to invite your friends into it and then they can play it, which it is also persistent. So even if you aren't around and your friends wanted to play on it again, they would be able to. They could just go in, you don't have to be there, and they can drive around, do whatever. That's really cool. If you have a group of friends that likes to play the game with you, then you guys can kind of build your own little setup for each other to go through, and maybe even do your own obstacle courses, kind of like the Rush events from the beginning. Maybe figure something out with that. But other than that, I pretty much don't have anything else game-wise related that was worth mentioning. Everything that I brought up I felt was pretty good at an attempt to kind of liven the game up, bring some life back into it, especially after the couple years that we've been without a game. Not to say that we should get one every year. These games, I'm sure, take a lot of time and a lot of effort. Seeing some of these clips for the Japanese map for Horizon 6 definitely solidify that fact. But other than that, I'm pretty much set. That's all I had to say about it. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.